A young 12-year-old Elon Musk in South Africa sits on the concrete stairs eating a sandwich when suddenly he gets kicked in the back of the head, kicked down the concrete stairs where 4 bullies smash his face and head into the concrete, into the pavement until he blacks out. All right? These are the untold stories behind the story that I'm going to be sharing of Elon Musk. The things that you've never known, called How Adversity Shaped Me. And so you would think from there, okay, well, his teachers must have saw that he was a genius, right? No, his teachers didn't have anything special to say about him. At a young age, most people just thought he was average, or even one of his teachers wrote to his parents saying that he had a disability. He was always causing problems, not paying attention, staring out the window. Something's wrong with your son. All right. So then Elon's released from the hospital, age 12. This is where these parallels start coming that you're going to see throughout this that I share, that I've been spending actually years reading books and researching on Elon Musk because I'm always fascinated with greatness. And I think after I go through this whole story, the untold story behind the story, you don't have to like him, but you'll see why I respect him. And so I also have to mention these 2 names. I've done a lot of research. Elon Musk, there's 2 books on Audible that I've listened to over the years. They're both called Elon Musk. They're amazing biographies. The first one is by Ashley Vance, and then the most recent one is called Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson. I reference a lot of their stuff in here as well as many other things I've researched. So Elon, age 12, this darkness and this light, head smashed in by bullies, South Africa, awkward, problems in school, goes home, has an abusive father, physically and emotionally abusive. You'll see Elon doesn't really like to talk about this much, but they share a story of him and his brother when he came home from the hospital after getting his head beat in, his dad just making him stand up while he just screamed at him, putting him down, calling him a loser for like an hour and a half straight after he almost died and his head's all swollen from concussions. That's just one of a billion things. That's a whole other thing we can get into at another time. But what I want to flip onto, the same 12-year-old also coded in South Africa and designed a video, like a spaceship video game that he sold for $500. There's this darkness and this light. Okay, so the bullying in South Africa, it went on for 4 years where they just would beat the crap out of him. He admits he was little, he grew late, and it got so bad the bullies even talked his best friend. They told him, if you continue to hang out with Elon, we're going to kick your butt and smash your face in too. So at one point, the bullies even forced his best friend to lure Elon out of hiding so they could jump him and beat the crap out of him. And I heard Elon talking in an interview just saying, like, imagine how much that messes with your head. Like, I didn't have many friends. He's like, I was different. And my best friend, I trusted him. He lures me out and they jump me. 4 years later, Elon Musk starts to grow, gets bigger. And he talks about this. He said, then he fought back. He said, what I learned to do, I think he did some judo too, but he got bigger and he learned to just pop them hard in the nose. And he said, even though sometimes they would still jump me and beat the crap out of me, once I punched them really hard in the nose and I was bigger, it did enough to mess with their heads and hurt them so they would stop bullying me. I need us to go further now and jump forward as to where now. All right. Elon is about 17 years old now, is where we're going to flash forward to. There's a whole backstory of his mom, his dad, the divorce. His upbringing was crazy. Adversity. Age 17, has the chance to go to Canada. He has a vision of making it to America and just wanting to create things and build things. His mom had a Canadian passport. He was able to go to Canada at age 17, where His brother was there. I believe his brother was there. His cousin was there. He worked a variety of jobs, labor jobs. This is the richest man in the world. You guys are thinking, oh, he must have just always been a genius and had it easy. His teachers must have thought he was smart. He didn't have to work hard. Not the richest man in the world. He had nothing. He worked so many labor jobs. One of them he talks about that was the worst was cleaning out the boiler room of a lumber mill. He describes it where he had to climb into the hole, like this metal, steaming hot hole into this boiler room, where his job was to shovel out the steaming residue. And the only way to get it out was through the little hole that he had to crawl in there in. He said there was no way to get out, and you could not stay longer than 30 minutes in there, or else you would literally overheat and die. All right, let's go to 1995. Now, I believe, Elon is in the US now with his brother, and they're working on their first startup. Okay? They have nothing, they have no funds, they have no investors. They get a little teeny office space that they live in together. Elon talks about they don't even have a shower there. He went to the YMCA to shower to save money. They would work there 24/7. They would sleep there. There's even a story of one intern that they had that Elon would be like sleeping. He had a beanbag under his desk. He'd be working on coding the whole time. Sometimes he'd lay down and sleep for like an hour. And he told the intern, if you come in and see me on the beanbag sleeping, kick it and wake me up. And the intern talks about that. He's like, I would come and I saw him a few times and I would just like nudge him and he would just get up and just kind of go like that, sit back up at his computer and just start working again. He's like, dude, that guy's work ethic was just relentless. All right. So what Elon was creating in 95 with his brother was Zip2, which basically was like the first version almost of MapQuest before websites were really a thing and making that technology into businesses. They sold that for $15 million. All right. In 2002, this is where Elon Musk starts X.com, which turned into PayPal. He sold this eventually for $175 million. At this point, he's 31 years old. Some light. Darkness, same 2002. Baby dies from SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. His little baby is 2.5 months old. Throughout that, him and his wife go through a divorce, and then darkness and light. 2002 creates SpaceX. That could be a 20-hour story there of that whole company. It's mind-blowing what he has done with that. 2002 creates SpaceX. All right? Okay. So now I'm going to move a little forward to 2008, the night of Christmas Eve. Tesla. Elon, the dude that just had 175 million. You think he's all bad at 31? Now facing bankruptcy. It's Christmas Eve. And at the time, his wife, let me see, I believe her name was Riley. She talks about they were struggling so much with investors and they couldn't even keep up to have payroll. And if they didn't get the 40 million from their investors, that deal to close on Christmas Eve, Elon would have been bankrupt. Tesla would have been bankrupt. SpaceX would have all been bankrupt. Okay? And she talked about him waking up like in these night terrors, screaming and like clawing to climb on top of his wife. She said she just could not believe the torment this dude was going through. So what does he do on Christmas Eve? He bluffs them and says, if you guys don't put in your investment for the 40 million like you guaranteed, then SpaceX is going to put in the 40 million. You have till midnight tonight. SpaceX didn't have the money to do it. Elon was on the verge of bankruptcy. They didn't know that. Anyway, his bluff worked. So boom, let me move forward. Darkness, 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 light. So we go to, oh man, I actually have notes here, everyone, and I'm not used to having notes on my show. That's how hard I've been working on all this to put this together the right way. Okay, so now we flash forward to right around today, January 12th, 2024. Tesla, the same company that was going bankrupt in 2008, is now worth $695.83 billion. They have some stock analysis on it, future predictions. You never know for sure with that. That's getting it into the trillions. Now, currently, this has made Elon Musk the richest human being in the world. All right. The same dude, the darkness, the light. There's so much. You think the adversity was just in his past, but it continues throughout his life. And a lot of stuff. It's crazy. A lot of stuff he admits, like he attracts it because of this weird, a lot of the trauma he had. But it's amazing how he's been able to balance out and almost like use the darkness towards the light in many ways. Now, they have what they call with Elon Musk demon mode. And they talk about when he goes into this, like not to mess with him. People know to leave him alone. And in the book, Elon Musk, they talk about there was times, this is crazy because I have Tesla stocks and I listen to the stock meetings, like the annual shareholder meetings, and he'll get out, he'll come on and talk. It's crazy because right before him, they said he doesn't really, he just like shoots it from the hip. He just comes and talks. But when he was in this demon mode, they said he went through this really dark, he goes through these dark periods. And they're talking about him laying down in the boardroom, in the conference room with all the lights off, where he would just go and lay under the table. And so much was going on with his personal life, with business life, with his Twitter takeover, everything. And he just would lay under there. And even the executives, like when they had to have stuff for him to sign, and this was just recently, they would come and they would just lay with him under the table with Elon Musk in the dark and just kind of be quiet for a minute and be like, hey, Elon, we got these documents that we have to sign for this deal we're doing with SpaceX or with Neuralink or with whatever it may be. And he would just kind of be quiet, and then he would look at it in the dark and sign it. And at another time, they were starting a shareholder conference call, a stock meeting. The whole world's watching. Elon Musk is laying under the table in the dark in demon mode. And they're coming to get him, and they're like, Elon, you got to get up. Like, they're waiting for you to come speak. Like, there's millions of people waiting. And he's like, I can't do it. I can't get up. I don't want to do it. And they had to lay there and talk with him for like 20 minutes. And we don't know this story behind the story that's going on. Then he gets up and does the conference call, the shareholder stock meeting. It's crazy. And I'm going to look. So we go from the demon mode, but then I'm going to flip forward to the light and talk about the same dude that had the crap beat out of him, was bullied, like horribly, sadistically bullied. His face smashed into the pavement all the time. And that was normal in South Africa. Had his dad, he said it was just torture. He'd go to school and be tortured. He'd go home and be tortured. He's like, everywhere was torture. He had an existential crisis, wondering like, is there a God? And got lost studying all these religions. Almost, he felt suicidal even at times throughout this. And it was this book, this philosophical book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is an incredible book, by the way. And it's philosophical and it's like witty and funny with dry humor about like the meaning of life. And it's deep. And that, he says, helped him. And it kind of shows how he has like that dry humor and stuff. That kind of reminds me of that book. Anyway, the kid that was bullied, that was stupid, that same 12-year-old, first thing he did, 12 years old, coded a video game, sold it for $500. This is just a timeline of things this dude has done up to current. It's insanity. 1995, created Zip 2, which was like MapQuest, sold before there was any MapQuest, sold it for $15 million. 1999, he's like 31 now, creates X.com, see the X and everything now, which turned into PayPal when he sold it. When he sold it, PayPal was worth $1.5 billion at that time. Elon's share, he got $1.75 million from that. Puts it all in to SpaceX. 2002, starts SpaceX. That's an insane story of what he's done there. That would be a whole other show. Also led to Starlink, which is now currently its net worth $175 billion. 2002, the Musk Foundation. We don't hear much about the Musk Foundation. And this is a nonprofit that its mission, it creates renewable energy. It's like trying to create like sustainable energy even in third world countries. And I don't know, I haven't even heard a whole lot about it. As I was doing research, I just found out about this. And just in 2022, it gave over $160 million towards these projects. All right, 2004, Elon Musk creates Tesla. Remember, in 2008, Tesla and Elon Musk and everything was facing bankruptcy. Today, Tesla is worth $695.83 billion. Over $500 billion. Bankrupt. 2016, acquired Solar City for $2.6 billion, which he's been merging together. That's more with residential. He's been merging that together also with Tesla and other things. 2016, creates Neuralink, which you guys have heard of it. It's the company that they're doing brain implant chips. And it's crazy. And also, there's some amazing things they're doing it, like implanting chips that can help blind people to actually fix their vision and be able to see. That's things they're working on. Spinal injury. But then it goes with even as crazy as to AI telepathy, to where you're able to like mentally talk through machines and stuff. It's craziness. Right now, that's net worth is $5 billion. 2016, again, the Boring Company. Elon Musk talked about living in LA, the traffic never got better. They kept adding more lanes and never fixed anything. They kept adding more lanes. They never changed the game. So he starts figuring out a way to make these underground tunnels. The Boring Company does other things too, but the goal is to fix traffic, including a hyperloop. That's this underground magnetic tunnel that like shoots between cities. As of today, it's worth $7 billion. 2022, the Twitter takeover, now known as X. And he purchased this for $44 billion, which they think it's worth way less than that right now. But what's amazing is he was doing this fighting for free speech. And I know a lot of people, there's been a lot of controversy about this, but I look at the whole 360 vision of him owning this huge media company and connecting other dots of, don't forget, people are counting him out with this. 2008, Tesla almost bankrupt. Today, worth over $500 billion. You don't think he's going to be able to make Twitter X profitable? Also, he created PayPal, which was created first as X.com, which created digital currency, which they're working on implementing into Twitter, into X, and so much more. Dogecoin, baby. By the way, I own some Dogecoin, so I got to shout that out. I hope he does implement that in there. That would be awesome. But I'm just saying, you know, so 44 billion they purchased that for, and let's see where that goes. I have no doubt that all the dots are going to continue to connect, and he's going to make it successful. All right. But just look at that. And that's just from what I have found, like, so far, that list right there. Currently, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world at age 52 years old. And a few other things about Elon. I love this. I want to talk about his mindset. Like, when it comes to teaching, he talks about how school and education is so stupid because it teaches stupid things in stupid ways, and it hasn't changed the same crap that I say. That's why he hated school. And he talks about it doesn't focus on the main skills that we need, which is problem solving. And I heard him talking in a video. He used a great example of how he has worked with some students on problem solving. And he's like, rather than teaching you how to memorize what each tool is, this is a wrench, this is what a wrench does, this is what a Phillips screwdriver is, this is what it does. He's like, I teach problem solving. Here's an engine. We're going to take the whole thing apart and figure out how to put it all back together again. As we're problem solving on how to put it all back together, we start learning, oh, actually this tool works to put this together, or man, there's actually a better tool that we could create and a better way to build this and make this better. You learn by doing, by problem solving. It's a different mindset. Elon Musk's mindset on giving up. This is one of my favorite quotes, besides the one that's on my poster back there, the canvas on the wall. This one on giving up. They asked him in an interview on SpaceX, like when the 4th rocket exploded, about, did you ever think about throwing in the towel and giving up? Here's Elon's reply. Never. I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated. For my part, I will never give up, and I mean never. I love that. I love that. I respect that. Net worth, this dude from South Africa. This little kid that bullied, went through this craziness. His net worth now is the #1 richest man in the world, is $251.3 billion. Now, to sum all this up, as I shared this story behind this story, the untold story of Elon Musk, how adversity shaped me. As I talk about this darkness and this light, and he's not done yet. Like, I can't wait to see what this dude continues to do. But it's fascinating. There's these demons that we all battle, that he battles. And I think this quote, I love this quote, perfectly sums up today's show. And it's this: we never lose our demons. We only learn to live above them. From Dr. Strange. Boom. That's it, everyone. This is Mark Minard with Elevating Beyond on Elon Musk, the untold story behind the story, how adversity shaped me. And just like Elon says, I will never give up. And I mean never.